Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashton Doctor, your habit coach, and today we have a very special episode because we're going to be talking about health and fitness, but at a very extreme. And we're going to understand how my guest today manages to balance out different aspects of her life and still compete at a very high level. She not only has a 9 to 5 regular job that she does, but she also takes part in bodybuilding competitions. And as you know, that is a very hard thing to do. The hours that go into that fitness is so important. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Navreet Josan, aka the Little Rocket. Welcome, Navreet.
Hi.
How are you doing
Thank you
today?
for, I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
We keep putting out content like this on this channel, so please don't forget to hit subscribe and the little bell icon so you know when future videos come out.
So you know the thing, Navreet, is that I've always admired your consistency. Like I remember we used to work out in the same gym, and that's how we met. And
Right.
whenever I would enter, I would see you already there working out. I would finish my workout, and you would still be there working out, right?
Right.
Like you had these long, intense training sessions that you would be doing, and it was insane seeing you at that effort and that consistency of effort day in, day out, almost no breaks, and for months on end. Now, where does all that come from? You know, people find consistency in doing a 20-minute workout, not a 2 hour workout. So, you know, I think it's the best time for us to learn from somebody who's at a extreme, you know, who's doing it at a peak level. And understanding consistency from you, I think, is going to help everybody here. So, where does consistency come from, according to you?
That's a great question. And honestly, I've learned there are two things that dictate that from observing how I have been. And I mean, honestly, I've also been off track certain times and I've learned from that and I've gone back to what's worked for me. So let me share that with you. So the first thing to do is set a goal that's slightly scary. So for me, it was to step on stage, which was completely unknown to me. Nobody in India had done it before. So it was definitely like, I just couldn't stay in bed and turn the alarm off and snooze because I knew that if I would do that, it would just put me back behind people that were way ahead of me anyway. So that would make me jump out of bed. It was a goal that was exciting. It was a goal that scared me a little bit. And I'd also, you know how they say that make it a little bit public. That helped because a lot of people knew that I'm prepping for a competition. So I wanted to deliver and I wanted to, like I wanted to make my coaches proud. I didn't want to let myself down, so it
Right.
was a great way for me to push myself. Whereas on an everyday life, if I tell myself, okay, like I just want to get fit, if it's just like, oh, I just want to get fit, like generally, you tend to, fall prey to things like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, let me, what is one day, sorry, let's take this again. So I think some place where we fail is sometimes when we have very vague goals and we say, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. Or when somebody says, Chal, leave it, no, do it tomorrow. What is one day going to do? So when you have goals like this, you cannot slack. So that
Right.
was one thing. I think for you guys, it could be a photo shoot. It could be, I think the most common one is when people are getting married or things like that. But I think it has
Correct.
to go a little bit beyond that. You could do something exciting, like you want to, train for a photo shoot is like a really good example because it'll just
Mm,
push you, or just for yourself, like set a bit of a deadline and have a
mm,
date in mind that you
mm,
work towards. Very
mm,
important to track progress. And for that, I would really recommend working with somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a husband, boyfriend, it could be a coach. And for me,
mm,
that's really worked because when I have a very strategic plan from somebody that I need to follow, and I know that
mm,
I need to take pictures, report back to them after a week, I
mm,
know that I don't want to let myself down and I don't want to let them down because they are investing in
mm,
me as well. And
mm,
especially like taking pictures, for example, you can really see like, oh my God, I actually went backwards this week, and it really whoops your ass there. So I would say that one thing is setting slightly higher goals for yourself, and you will be able to
mhm,
achieve them when you push yourself. And the second would be building accountability. which could be getting a coach or having somebody that you have to follow up with. These are two things that really worked for me. And when I don't have these two things in place, I tend to not perform as well, or I tend to slack myself.
You know, I've had many failures in my life, and I remember this earlier on. I would dwell on my failures for so long that I would never start up again. Correct? And then recently in the past, I've had many successes in my life, and then I would dwell on my success for so long that I never started up again.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was understanding that both success and failures are just one aspect, but the starting up again is important, because if complacency
Right.
sets in, you know, oh, I've won, now who's going to touch me, ha ha ha, you know, like as soon as that
Yeah.
sets in, you're lost. You've immediately lost, because at a competitive level, people are always trying to level up, and if you're not going along with that flow, or you're stagnant, game over.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Thoughts?
absolutely. There's already going to be somebody who's better than you.
Hmm.
So never, you just don't know. Like, I know there's this saying that there's always someone who's working harder than you, right? So
Yeah.
you cannot get complacent. You know, you have
Hmm.
to stay on the game, but also know that the hardships that you go through are the hardships they go through as well. Yes,
Remember somebody coming to me the other day and saying, you know, I'm going through this, I'm going through this. I was like, but you realize that there are 35 other people also doing the same thing. They're also going through the same
exactly.
thing. And we
Right.
never think about it. We just think that, you know, it's our burden to bear, not knowing that so many others are going through the same. Love it. Love it. All right. Superb. Now, what was your biggest learning from making that jump to pro, from amateur to pro? What were the three things that you took out? Because from amateur to pro, it was you're very serious about what you're doing, you're enjoying the
Right.
process, but you're still an amateur, right? And
Right.
now, when you went on this world stage where you're now considered pro, you're
Right.
starting from the bottom. Now,
Yeah.
how does that journey take you? And what did you learn from that?
Right. I think that whole switch from once you go from being an amateur to a pro, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it, because
Hmm.
it's it's like you're representing the sport in your country and you're representing the pro category and what it looks like, right? And that is a big responsibility. So that was one, which kind of ties in beautifully to the second point, is that learning to maintain that shape. And okay, you don't have to be that lean or that shredded throughout the year, but dominating your sport throughout the year is very important, and always working towards it and looking in great shape. And that, again, like I said, doing that throughout the year, it does take discipline. And again, I'm going to
Hmm.
reiterate, it doesn't mean looking lean throughout, but it means looking in shape throughout the year without having an immediate goal.
Hmm.
So that is the second one. And the third one has been, it's actually been an evolution for me as an athlete as well, is
Hmm.
making this a part of my life and not like, oh, I have to work out today. No, it is just something that I do. It is, and that is so true, Ashton. I maybe like it might be a little bit hard for someone to relate to this, but I'll really try and break it down. When I don't work out, when I don't do my nutrition right, when I don't do things that I have been told to do by my coach, they are so much a part of my life now that if I don't do it, I don't feel like I'm being myself. I feel
Hmm.
like I feel a little out of place.
Okay, superb. Thank you so much for doing this podcast. I think people are going to find it immensely useful. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Navreet, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Ashton. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.